These are the NFL players that nearly killed someone on the field. From hard hits to brutal tackles, the NFL is known for its intense and physically demanding nature. But there are moments in football history that are so dangerous, so reckless, that they make your heart skip a beat. These are the moments that remind us just how dangerous the sport can be, and the players whose actions almost led to fatal consequences. Let's get started and explore some of the most shocking moments in NFL history, where players' reckless behavior and mistakes nearly cost someone their life on the field. Get ready to hold your breath, because this is going to be one wild ride. Number 1. Jack Tatum, Oakland Raiders, and Darryl Stingley, New England Patriots. One of the most tragic and well-known examples of a player nearly killing someone on the field occurred on August 12, 1978, during a preseason game between the Oakland Raiders and the New England Patriots. Jack Tatum, a hard-hitting safety for the Raiders, delivered a vicious hit on Darryl Stingley, a wide receiver for the Patriots, that left him paralyzed from the neck down for the rest of his life. The hit occurred during a routine pass play as Stingley jumped to catch a high pass from his quarterback. Tatum, who was known for his aggressive playing style, launched himself into the air and collided with Stingley's head and neck area, sending him crashing to the ground in a heap. The force of the impact was so severe that Stingley's spinal cord was severed, leaving him unable to move his arms or legs. In the aftermath of the hit, there was much controversy and debate about whether Tatum's actions were intentional or not. Tatum maintained that he was simply playing the game the way it was meant to be played and that he had no intentions of hurting Stingley. Stingley spent the rest of his life confined to a wheelchair, requiring round-the-clock medical care and assistance. He eventually passed away in 2007 at the age of 55 due to complications from his injuries. Tatum was plagued by guilt and regret over the hit for the rest of his life. You think this story was shocking? Wait until you hear the next tragic event, as it will just blow your mind. Number 2. Chuck Cecil, Green Bay Packers, and Darrell Thompson, Minnesota Vikings. Another notable example of an NFL player nearly killing someone on the field occurred during a game between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings in 1991. Chuck Cecil, a hard-hitting safety for the Packers, delivered a brutal hit on Darrell Thompson, a running back for the Vikings, that left him unconscious and in need of hospitalization. The hit occurred during a routine running play as Thompson received a handoff and attempted to gain yards up the middle. Cecil, who was known for his aggressive playing style, charged forward and launched himself at Thompson, hitting him with full force and knocking him to the ground. Thompson's helmet came flying off as he hit the turf, and he was left motionless on the field for several minutes. After being attended to by medical personnel, Thompson was rushed to the hospital, where he was diagnosed with a concussion and a broken collarbone. The hit was so severe that it was later revealed that Thompson had suffered temporary memory loss and had no recollection of the play or the hit. Do you think there should be more strict regulations and penalties for the life safety of your favorite players? Let us know in the comments section. Number 3. Ryan Shazier, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Josh Malone, Cincinnati Bengals. A more recent example of an NFL player nearly killing someone on the field occurred in a game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals on December 4, 2017. Ryan Shazier, a linebacker for the Steelers, suffered a devastating spinal injury while attempting to tackle Josh Malone, a wide receiver for the Bengals. Shazier, known for his lightning-fast speed and hard-hitting play style, charged forward and attempted to tackle Malone, but ended up making contact with his head and neck area instead. Shazier immediately collapsed to the ground and was seen grabbing at his lower back in agony. The severity of Shazier's injury was soon apparent as he was carted off the field and taken to a local hospital for further evaluation. It was later revealed that he had suffered a spinal contusion and required surgery to stabilize his spine. The injury was so severe that Shazier was left unable to walk and was forced to retire from football as a result. If you think this sport has become too violent and dangerous, then wait! What's next will leave you speechless. But first, make sure to land the touchdown on the subscribe button and kick that notification bell right in the goalpost. Number 4. Rodney Harrison, New England Patriots, and Trent Green, St. Louis Rams. In the NFL history, few incidents have been as shocking and heart-wrenching as the collision between Rodney Harrison and Trent Green on August 28, 1999. The play began innocently enough, with Green dropping back to pass and looking for an open receiver. As he released the ball, Harrison, a hard-hitting safety for the Patriots, came flying in from the blind side, aiming to bring the quarterback down. What happened next was a split-second decision that would change both men's lives forever. Harrison's shoulder crashed into the side of Green's helmet, sending the Rams' signal caller sprawling to the turf. He lay there motionless for several seconds as the entire stadium held its breath. It was a sickening scene, as players from both teams knelt on the field in prayer, hoping that Green would be okay. Eventually, Green was able to get to his feet, but it was clear that something was wrong. His head was spinning, his vision was blurred, and he was struggling to maintain his balance. He was helped off the field by the Rams' medical staff and taken to a nearby hospital for further evaluation. Doctors feared that the injury could have been life-threatening, and Green's family was besides themselves with worry. Thankfully, Green pulled through, and after several weeks of rest and recuperation, he was able to return to the field. But he struggled with headaches, dizziness, and other symptoms for years after the collision, and eventually had to retire from the game prematurely. Get ready to be shocked, because this next incident is one of the most dangerous and heart-wrenching in NFL history. Bill Romanowski, Denver Broncos, and Tony Gonzalez, Kansas City Chiefs. In the world of professional football, there are moments that make your heart race and your adrenaline pump. The roar of the crowd, the intensity of the players, and the sheer physicality of the sport can leave you breathless. But sometimes that excitement can turn into horror in an instant. One such moment occurred in 1998 when Bill Romanowski of the Denver Broncos collided with Tony Gonzalez of the Kansas City Chiefs. The impact was so brutal that Gonzalez suffered a broken nose and had to undergo surgery. For those who witnessed the collision, it was a heart-stopping moment. The force of the hit was enough to make even the toughest of players wince in pain. Gonzalez was left lying on the field, blood streaming down his face, as the crowd fell silent in shock. As the medical team rushed to his aid, it became clear that this was no ordinary injury. Gonzalez had taken a blow that could have easily been fatal. The fact that he survived was a testament to his incredible resilience and strength of his character. Romanowski was known for his aggressive playing style, and this hit was just one of many that he had been involved in during his career. He was later fined $7,500 for the hit on Gonzalez, but the damage had already been done. Gonzalez's concussion was serious enough to keep him out of the next game, and it could have been much worse had he not received proper medical attention. If you think that last hit was brutal, wait until you hear about the next violent one. Number 6, Javon Kearse, Tennessee Titans, and Trent Green, Kansas City Chiefs. In the world of American football, the line between glory and devastation is razor thin. One minute you can be on the top of the world, and the next you could be lying on the field, wondering what just happened. This was the reality for Trent Green of the Kansas City Chiefs, who in 2008 suffered a devastating hit from Javon Kearse of the Tennessee Titans. It was a brutal collision, one that left Green lying on the field, dazed and confused. The impact was so severe that he suffered a concussion and had to leave the game. For Green, it was a moment of reckoning, one that would change his life forever. As he lay there, surrounded by his teammates and the medical staff, Green realized that he had just experienced something that could have easily killed him. The force of the hit was enough to cause serious brain damage, or even worse. But in the midst of the chaos, there was something else that was happening. The crowd was on its feet, cheering and shouting, caught up in the excitement of the game. For them, it was just another moment of football, another highlight reel play to remember. Football is not just a game, but a potentially life-altering experience. Do you also think that every time the players step onto the field, they're putting their health and well-being on the line? The incident with Kearse ultimately led Green to retire from football and to dedicate his life to advocating for player safety. He realized that he had a responsibility to use his platform to speak about the dangers of the sport and to work towards making it safer for future generations of players. These were some of the events where NFL players nearly killed someone on the field. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for our next video where we'll dive even deeper into the dangerous plays and close calls of NFL players.